but I do have somewhat of a relationship with this particular model. My first Amiga, it's an A12000, as you can see. No, an A1200. I always say A12000 for some reason, and I kept saying to myself before I started filming this video, don't call it an A12000, make sure you call it an A1200, and I still did it. So I've done it in so many videos, and I feel so stupid after I've done it, because there's always so many points out in the comments, and even when I've put a pinned comment before saying I know I said A12000 when I should have said A1200, people still make a massive deal out of it, and I've never understood why people seem to get so upset about just making a small slip up like that. This is impossible because that logo that they've used in this top screenshot, this Atari logo here, is a modern Atari logo. That was used by Infogrames because they replaced the middle A with the Fuji, but not only that, it's a bell-bottom Fuji. You can clearly see that in the screenshot. I'll give you a close-up actually. Yeah, so that's a modern Atari logo. Something like that actually annoyed me because you're supposed to be creating what's supposed to be a realistic screenshot, but it's not, because you've used a logo that didn't exist in the time period that game was made. And something to do with a leaky battery, I believe, is one of the things that causes them to fail. In size, I think it's bigger than the original Amiga. I seem to remember it's longer. I was quite disappointed to see how short it was. I was expecting something a lot longer. In fact, around the same time as this, anyone who knows the Amiga will know that they launched the A600. There's an expansion slot on that side there. Power there. I've got the big old power pack there. It's actually massive, but it doesn't weigh anything, which I thought was really strange. And then there's a little slot on the side, which I think is your trapdoor, if I remember rightly, for putting extra memory and stuff in that the original Amiga had. And then on the bottom there is another big door, which you can see there, and I believe that's where you put your hard drive if you want to fit an internal hard drive on this. This is a 32-bit, uses a multi-roller 68020 CPU. Multi-roller 68020 CPU. A lot of people criticised having the use of an 020 because it was actually quite a limited first generation 32-bit processor, and a lot of people thought it should have used an 030 like the Atari Falcon, its rival, did, which offered more address space and lots of other advantages. The original Amiga had it, and the 12,000 has a more advanced version of that. In fact, the CD32 had an extra chip, which I can't remember the name of right now, it's gone from my brain, which did help it do 3D graphics, which the 12,000 didn't have. But there was literally only one game on the CD32 that used it. Guardian, I believe, was the only one that took advantage of it, which was a shame. And obviously it was backwards compatible, I believe, pretty much fully. I think there probably were some compatibility problems. I have to admit, I'm not 100% wised up on Amiga. And the 12,000 didn't, sadly. There was a plan to launch a separate CD-ROM drive for the 12,000, which I've actually seen for myself. Again, the Falcon had actually quite a bit of software on CD because it was compatible with several CD-ROM drives from day one. But whereas the Falcon failed in the market because unfortunately the American Atari, Jack Tramiel decided that it would be left to Germany, Atari Germany, to market, and they wanted to market it as a business machine, a serious computer. And Commodore very much marketed the Amiga 12,000 as a games machine. So there's some normal Amiga games and some 12,000 specific games. And then a lot of that obviously goes back to the fact that the Amiga was originally going to be a console being developed for Atari. Of course, you cannot have an Amiga without Deluxe Paint. I've got Deluxe Paint 3 here with animation as well, so that's pretty cool.
Deluxe.
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 Dulux. Dulux.
It's definitely a superior machine to the ST for games, but it was never going to match the consoles of the time, unfortunately. A lot of the games didn't really match the quality of what was on the Mega Drive and the SNES. And still having a one-button joystick didn't help it. People have you can use their A1200 to surf the internet and stuff like that with use of these accelerator boards and broadband adapters and things like that, and it's pretty. If you want something just to play games on, then maybe it's not such a great solution. And feel free to correct me in the comments.
I'm just really anal